Hotshot, they are slowly relegating themselves to be under the top 12 threshold. And for the teams that is within that threshold, they have to be careful because we are left with only 3 matches here for Group A and also C. This 12th team definitely need to pump up more in their game. So we're going to move into Alpine here for game number 4. After that booyah from loss and aggressive gameplay here by the Brazilian team, I could believe that maybe loss could again surprise us with an amazing game.
Yeah, Lost look really good. 3 booyahs throughout the entirety of the days they've been playing here. They're aggressive, they are hot. Raoni is playing incredibly well. And there are so many situations where you thought they were at the back foot. They had lost 2 players already. Then what? They bring the players back into the recovery. It's incredible on Bermuda this morning.
Yeah, now we're looking at Alpine. We are looking at drop spots of the players, but it looks like we might have a scuffle here in Snowfall as R7 and Buriram are dropping at the same place. Bounty has been placed on a Virtus.pro Diamond by, I believe it's by RRQ. So with that said, RRQ now sort of have information regarding the position of Virtus.pro. Meanwhile, we are now panning on towards Snowfall. As I said, it's Rainbow 7 and Buriram. However, on the river mouth, Dragons and Red Hawks are at it right now.
Aggressive as heck right now as DRG. They're going aggressive. Kutush falls, Blade as well. And Blade can't even be recovered anymore. For now, they have to find a way to get themselves back into this game. But DRG 3 already, and this is a great start for them. I glazed them on the stage earlier for a good reason. This is a team out of nowhere, just gone completely nuclear and taking down so many big names.
A short run here for Red Hawks. The last member was finally found. It was found by Motovia from Pain Gaming as Motovia is on that lighthouse tower, encompassing the whole area of Rivermouth, looking at Team Dragons right now. He's being so careful not to actually release any kind of shot, despite being in a position where it's hard for Dragon to execute here, even for Motovia to go down. So with that said, Motovia tried his best. Carlos goes down towards Rima. Rima now on the floor, manages to collect another point here for Pain Gaming. Motovia doing a lot of work for Pain Gaming in the early stages of the match.
They're looking to break some hearts and break some dreams because DRG, while they're hot, they are currently on the back foot in terms of bodies. So the best way is just go for, for cover. And the same thing could be said about Falcons because they are here to not to play. They're getting here for names and also kills. But Pain Gaming are rallying. They get the kills. DRG, one more member falls here, but for Pain, they try their best to get those pickups. But Falcons, Peter, he's aggressive. There's a reason why he is one of the #1 decorated players on this team, and he has taken the first pickup for the team, and they're looking to find a different way to eliminate Pain from this game.
So Gus tried to fly himself away from Falcons, but apparently the Falcon managed to swoop him away in midair. So there is only Motovia left, and Motovia doing what towards Team Dragons? He managed to secure 4 elimination for this Brazilian team, all alone with that car and also Woodpecker. Oh, such a unique setup here by Motovia, using the glue wall and also the mini jump pad right on top to gain elevation and a good angle to actually go towards Forest Raid. So main job here for Motovia, he has to revive the others.
You want to be able to do that as well. I mean, you saw they had a bit more advantage in terms of their cover and positioning as well. But Falcons did a great job of rallying and being able to break through those defensives, running in as a 2-2 to be able to just really push them outside into the open arms for his teammates. And I think that Falcons, while they have been a bit more quiet, they are here today to just really solidify their lead.
Pain Gaming is back. Motovia managed to actually revive everyone back. Meanwhile, a little bit of a scuffle here in Rai as AG.AL spotted on Olympus scouring around the same area. Rai is a very open space area. They have to actually close in their gap. Meanwhile, Noki was knocked by View on the backside. That they have to take refuge in that arsenal. Noki again on the floor, this time alongside Adam. And Onyx Olympus not looking so good. They have to fly away, and indeed they did. So the remaining members tried to exit. Only one member actually exited as Zyro was left here to handle AG.AL all alone. Barras Try to break as much wall as possible with the Groza in hand. And Zairu managed to find cover for the current time being. He had space, but sadly, Dew found his back and Zairu goes down.
It's just a terrible position to be in when you have no clue where the AG.AL members are. And the AG.AL realizing that they have to really struggle to earn their spot into that top 12 just really fuels them further. Now they have, all the, armory, they have the upgraded weapons, and I think this would really increase their firepower, give them an upper advantage to be able to get all those frags, to be able to solidify themselves into some points in terms of kills, in terms of positioning as well.
Alright, we might see another Falcon and Pain Gaming interaction here, this time on Rivermouth. Here is a short replay from Rainbow 7 where we could not actually report it for you guys, and Rainbow 7 manages to actually control Buriram. It looks like Buriram has to exit the vicinity instead. And now we're looking at Falcon again. We're about to see whether or not Falcon repeats their match against Pain. They had a very good run earlier where Pain was left with Motovia to do all the revive, but apparently Pain manages to actually find a route to fall back, but Gus has been spotted by Falcons.
Yeah. Falcons, they're ever watching, eyes like a hawk, if you want to say it. Gus gets backstepped here. His teammate wants to pick him up, but I don't think that Keroro is going to allow him that space to be able to do so. A lot of pressure going toward him as well. And Peter cannot do a lot to help his teammates in this situation. And as for Falcons, they're understanding that in this dire situation, the best course of action is to take a little bit more space.
Pina tries to actually do some suppressed fire towards Team Pain Gaming, but knowing that they are quite far apart against each other, so Falcon decides to actually just maybe find another thing to do here in Rivermouth, maybe find some resources that are lacking in the team. But it looks like Pina was aimed at, I think, Pain Gaming. Yeah, Pain Gaming from the minimap. It looks like they are trying to engage on towards Team Falcons. Meanwhile, the first zone is about to close. There's a few teams still outside of the zone. Example, Buriram, AG.AL, and also Lost. Dragons resetted back their team. However, they are currently being bountied by another team in our Alpine. And it looks like the circle has updated, putting Sunside as the middle point.
Interestingly enough, that southern side is such a heavy point of contention. So many teams rotating over, which means we're going to see some bloody fights coming from there. Virtus.pro, I think they can chill for now as the rest of Onyx are looking for a slower and later rotation as they try to bring themselves back into this game. And I say bring themselves back into the game is such an important thing for them, because you want to be able to make sure that you have a bit more space to work with. Your teammates are able to get back into the game safely, and you're able to rendezvous together, to move together as a unit.
Alright, we're looking at Vision, System SP. They had two good games actually, despite currently being in the lower part of the overall table. They still have that hope to try to get to the top 12, trying to cut off teams from AG.AL as well as Dragons. If they could actually get 3 more good games with good placement and elimination points, even with a Booyah, we could see another Latam team proceeding towards the point rush stage. Meanwhile, we're looking at RRQ happily camping at boot camp. Again, this is also a base camp, sorry. This is also another vicinity within the midpoint of our new zone. And Mal equipping with the AWMY, high damage, high caliber. Sadly could not go through glue walls. Only the M8-2B could do that, but still a very scary weapon to be facing against.
I'm looking at DRG's rotation right now from southern side. This is a very scary rotation because they are currently right against the zone, and most importantly, if they do break into that circle, there's Falcons waiting for them. There's AG.AL waiting for them, and that's the worst part, because AG.AL and DRG are currently on that same amount of points. They need to both be able to kind of like break each other to be able to earn their spot into that top 12, and it's really scary, especially when you're up against a team like Falcons.
Another potential team going to point rush, Movie Star Rainbow 7. Playing it slow, does not enter the zone early. From Railroad, it looks like they are opt to go to Carousel. But the thing about playing in Carousel is that there is a body of water, so if they were to play around near that water, it could prove detrimental. Meanwhile, again, another team has entered base camp. This time around, it is Virtus.pro. Yet to get an elimination point in our game right here. They are side by side with Team Falcons as well as Team Vision System. Meanwhile, Lost just exited Rivermouth.
You know, I think the panel had that question just now. Will Buriram United actually make it to that top 12? Can they actually, you know, maintain that point to be able to secure themselves here? And, you know, I think the panel had a good, indication of saying, yeah, it's Buriram United. You don't really have to worry about them too much. They're explosive. They can start the day strong. They can still get enough, enough points to just maintain that top 12. And then suddenly in the point rush, the champions rush, they hit the ground running. But in this situation where so many teams are this competitive, how long are you going to be just sitting on that back foot? Are you not going to try show a bit more of the competitiveness, or are you just going to just do the bare minimum here?
I believe the bare minimum would be the least effort they could put for Buriram United, because judging from the points that they have, they are at high percentage to proceed to the next stage. Same goes to Lost right now. We're looking
points,
at them.
Yes.
Yeah, same for Lost right now. They are quite how can I say, comfortable to be current, being as they have sufficient points to be proceeding towards the point rush stage. And again, this is the airdrop brought to you by STC. Okay, very nice. I'm not so sure what's inside, but I believe this is a golden airdrop, so maybe either a Groza or AWM inside. Now we're looking at the Vantage Bridge where Dragons reside. Awaiting them in front is AG.AL, but they are going to use that mini jump pad to try to go to front. And Dragons awaiting the new zone. And talking about the zone, those who are inside are actually right smack in the middle. Falcons, Virtus.pro, and also I believe only one member of Team Onyx Olympus. Therefore, the team that is in the middle of the zone will try to kick beat. Meanwhile, RRQ and R7.
Yeah, very aggressive coming for RQ here. They're hot off that win this morning. They've done the rituals, and it's working out very well as R7 just crumble. Games King falls as well. The rest of RQ just taking their time, moving together as a unit. They've gotten 2 members of R7 already, and they can now chill. They're playing at the side of the zone here. The rest of R7 forced out there, back in the open, into the zone again. And this is the question. What are you going to do here? You have a vehicle. Yes, you have to go for a longer rotation for sure, but time is ticking.
He's trying to adjust the vehicle. Yeah, you could reverse Hux. You could reverse the vehicle. All right, Hux has a vehicle. However, he's now all alone. Not much coin for him to revive at least one person. So his only option is either to survive or trying to find maybe a respawn platform. But sadly, the current circle does not provide him that option. So Hux has to play alone. And meanwhile, we're looking RRQ flying towards the base camp, trying to get to the center point of the new zone. Meanwhile, Pain Gaming blasted bullets on towards Team Lost, but at the same time being disturbed by one lone member of Onyx Olympus. And Lost is looking at AG.AL.
Lost is looking hot. If you ask me, the southern side where they're holding completely open, they have the scoped weapon as well to allow them to go for these long-range fights, but the fights that are long-range are taken away by Dew, as Hux eventually does fall to Onyx, in fact, who has placed himself out there in the open. But for the rest of AG.AL, they're stuck here. The zone's pushing, they're stuck literally being hit between a rock and a hard place. As Rigby finds that first pick-off, Sypha falls, has to recover, can't do that. The glue walls are just falling so easily, melted right now, taking so much damage. Barros as well, the numbers are dwindling, and AG.AL don't seem to have an idea how exactly to recover from this situation. You alone here, and now the members have followed a double kill for this guy who's putting in so much pressure. AG.AL falls, and I think for DRG, this could be the holy or the hallelujah moment they needed.
Under the mercy of Team Lost goes down AG.AL. The next thing you know, Dragons as well on 9th place. Lost yet again. Shoving bullets this time on towards RRQ. With the M249, definitely the weapon of choice of taking down barriers as well as glue walls. So Lost controlling RRQ, forcing them to be inside of the building. Meanwhile, Onyx Adam is following Virtus.pro all on his own, and Adam finally got caught, but RRQ Dudes with the grenade managed to get a triple. I believe as Adam and two members of Virtus.pro have been eliminated. Exposy and Diamond has to run away. Exposy has to tank the snow grenade a little bit, and there you go. Onyx has been eliminated at 8th place, and now Chaos is upon them near base camp.
Because this hard shift is making everyone fight for that spot. But RQ is doing phenomenal in terms of positioning, in terms of style of play. They have already 10 eliminations at this 5th circle, and they are still going on here. They just found the members of BRU as well, taken them down, and now they're on a rampage. Who else they want to go for? They set their eyes onto Lost, puts a bit of chip damage, but not enough. But still, they don't have the zone. They have to rush forward. But because Pain and Lost are on this fight here, Pain is just going super aggressive. Rahoni falls, and RQ are happy to take this space away from the rest, who are later to rotate into the circle, but they're not done because Falcons is here to stop them.
Falcon taking down RQ one by one, but no Dudes with the grenade launcher taking down the last member of the Falcons. Now it's just RQ and Pain Gaming, but Pain Gaming has the help, has the number. Only Dudes left alone, running for his life in one particular spot, and Motavia awaiting for that blue wall to go down. Only Dudes remaining between Pain Gaming and that second Booyah in EWC. Dudes trying to control the car together with Gus, but Gus bringing him out. Motavia secures the kill, and that is Booyah for Pain Gaming.
Valiant effort for RQ Dudes. He really delayed the inevitable. Tried his best to at least get a point or two before things went wrong. And you know what, Pain? Yeah, talk that smack talk, because honestly, you guys deserved it. Another booyah for them today. Not today, but in this particular week. And it looks so good. They're very methodical in terms of their rotations. They're very quick on the ball when it comes to rotations as well. It looked as though RQ had the W, if you ask me. But Pain Gaming decided, no, I can change the chains of destiny.
What a good run here for Pain Gaming on the last few moments of the game.